Larry Bird's rookie spectacle forces teammates to quit and change the NBA forever. Let's get into it.
Bird just turned 67. The amount of regular games won for the all-time great 1986 Celtics, no sweeter feeling for the franchise to capture championship Sweet 16. Still considered by many the greatest NBA team ever assembled, Larry Joe Bird at his absolute apex, arguably one of the three best prime the game of basketball's ever seen, still doesn't get talked about enough for his greatness. Despite the accomplishments, accolades, the way he elevated the game to new heights, aside from his clutch shot making, all-around excellence, insane IQ, and relentless work ethic, his legendary trash talk stands out amongst the best of any competitive athlete.
I definitely love the trash talk one, that's for sure.
Sports has ever seen, from destroying his opponents with his words before.
So Chuck, I need to talk to you. Y'all got a white guy trying to guard me. That's disrespectful. There's not a white guy on the planet that can guard me. Larry Bird to Charles Barkley during an actual NBA game. So I guess this was versus the Sixers or the Suns. That's funny.
Even happened. Larry constantly predicted the future, leaving
But that doesn't have anything to do with anything, to be honest. You can be a good defender, whatever your race is. I know it's a joke, but it doesn't mean anything. Good defender is a good defender.
Speechless, being retired for 31 years and counting. Before making his presence known at Indiana State, nobody at the time could have imagined the country boy from the small town of French Lake, Indiana, would become the greatest basketball player of his generation. Years before he stepped foot in the prestigious Boston Garden, the 17-year-old received a scholarship,
one of the greatest players in the generation,
to play under Indiana Hoosiers coach Bobby Knight in 1974. But after 24 days on campus, finding the tough adjustments between his small hometown to an overwhelming large population of Bloomington, still much of an unknown, neither Bird's hometown of French Lake nor West Baton had a daily newspaper at the time, no coverage from radio or a TV station. Likely the main reason why a young Larry barely got any national coverage, despite averaging 31 points, 21 rebounds senior year in high school.
Whoa. And honestly, too, during that time, how much media coverage could you really get? That's a disadvantage of all the players in the 80s and 90s. There wasn't much media coverage to give them exposure. But at least he got to the NBA, and at least he's remembered.
The lack of media attention might have hurt his transitioning to a big university, coming from a town of just 2,000 people. Young Larry decided to attend a small community college, but needed to support his family, worked several jobs such as mowing lawns, cutting grass, and drove a garbage truck before a man by the name of Bill Hodges, an assistant for the Indiana State Sycamores basketball team, convinced the teenage phenom to give basketball another shot. After young Larry agreed, the rest was history.
Whoa.
After leaving his occupation helping his community in French Lake, Bird later said he enjoyed working outdoors, picking up brushes, cleaning up, felt like he was really accomplishing something, having the chance to make his community look better, the typical blue collar, while many of his 19-year-old future peers got treated like kings, being the man on campus, playing ball for a big program, partying in college. Young Larry Bird worked relentlessly to make ends meet. His tough grinding mentality led him to become who he was on the basketball court.
That's awesome, man. That's why my mindset is different. He worked. He wasn't entitled. He wasn't preppy. That definitely resonates with me, because I used to be knocking on doors, mowing lawns, shoveling the snow, the paper route. I used to deliver like hundreds of papers at 5 in the morning before going to school when I was in university at the time. Doing that in high school, also showing up to school before school started to practice, because I was on the basketball team at the time. I definitely resonate with a lot of these things, definitely. And the fact that he had his counterparts being celebrated for being the star of the team and so on, it destroyed them in the long run. It didn't give them drive and passion to be great.
Heavy adversity, also dealt with the tragic passing of his father when Larry was just 18.
I don't relate to that. Thank God. Thank
God.
God.
If you're so profitable, why do you sell the course? Well, what? Here you go. I don't care. It's all free. I'm giving it away. We have like 6 different courses in here. The same strategies that made me a full-time trader. We have like 24.
After arriving at Indiana State, forced to redshirt a year, didn't start until the 1976-77 season. From age 20 to 22, turned a mid-major program into a must-watch. Larry balled out so well in college, led the program all the way to the national title title game his senior season. Indiana State's first trip to the NCAA tournament as a Division I program. Won every individual collegiate basketball award that year.
Damn.
Basically came out of nowhere to the public. At the time, the most successful NBA
The
franchise.
Indiana Pacers must be angry they didn't draft Larry Bird.
The Boston Celtics, after their 1976 championship, filled with old players.
But he did coach the Indiana Pacers. But lost to the Lakers.
Motivated the young Curtis Rowe, fresh off his first All-Star appearance. More on him later on. Auerbach also brought in Portland's four-time All-Star Sidney Wicks. Both won 3 national titles with UCLA's John Wooden. Wicks and Rowe considered the dark times in Celtics history. Unmotivated about winning, Rowe even once said, "There ain't no W's or L's in our paychecks." 2 of Red Auerbach's worst GM decisions, getting lazy players who killed Celtics' pride. Red did redeem himself by drafting UNC Charlotte's Cedric Maxwell with the 12-pick 1977 draft. The 78 season, Boston finished just 32 wins, the fewest since the
Damn, 32 and 50. Wow.
Auerbach era. Having the 6th pick in the draft, Larry still a year of college eligibility, but draft eligible, already having spent 4 years in college. With several teams knowing Bird on the table, but none of the first 5 wanting to risk waiting a year, had Bird went back
So these were the players before him? Where are they at now? I've never heard some of these guys. Excuse my ignorance.
to college. A fatal mistake by those 5 teams, including his hometown Pacers. Of course, the eligibility rule changed right after what Red Auerbach pulled out.
The rule at that time was that if you didn't declare for the draft, you became eligible for the draft upon the graduation of your class. You didn't have to graduate.
It was most people
What?
don't want to make that pick because you have nothing for a year. And then if you don't sign him, he goes back into the draft. So it was a gamble. Red thought he could talk the guy into it.
After enduring
Wow.
an ugly 29 and 53 season, waiting 1 year worth of misery, knowing your franchise will be contenders for the next decade, you take that 100 out of
Worse than
100
the year
times.
before.
The genius of Red Auerbach with the combination of rookie Larry. Officially signed a contract 3 weeks before the 79 draft. June 8th, Larry
So look
resigned.
at this, look at this, look at this. This really gets my attention. So negotiations went to the wire, had an agreement not made yet. Larry would have re-entered the 1979 NBA draft instead of 2 sides came to an agreement. Bird inked a 5-year deal for $650,000 a year. The amount players are getting paid now compared to that is crazy. Players are easily getting $50 million in 5 years now. That's how different it is. And at the time, he became the highest paid rookie in NBA history. And times are different. Times are different. For all the players now, if any players happen to come across this video for any reason, appreciate what you're getting. Stop using that to disrespect the players that came before. Because this is what they're getting paid. This is what they're getting paid. $650,000 in 5 years. You can do, I don't know, an engineering job that'll get you paid close to that 5 years. I'll say maybe 5 years, 300,000. And this is a professional athlete. These guys are rare. How many players do you think make the NBA each year? That is how rare it is, and this is what they were getting paid at the time. That's insanity. It immediately caught my attention.
Paid rookie, earning 5 years, $3.25 million. Even before playing a single NBA game, as junior eligible when drafted, Red invited Bird to one of the Celtics games. Celtic players infuriated by the welcoming of their next big star. Many labeled him the Great White Hope. Even his own Boston teammates couldn't stand him at first.
I hate racism. I hate it. I hate it. I've dealt with it a lot of my life. And honestly, I can understand why some people are still angry. I get it. But I hate racism. I don't know why it still exists, especially in 2026. I don't know why it still exists. It still does exist for people that want to argue with me. It exists in small ways. I'm glad I'm not in America. It's far worse there, but I hate racism. I just wish there was a way it completely went away. I wish. Anyways, off topic, but that made me think about that.
Believed he was overhyped, didn't understand why a white guy who couldn't jump, considered slow and unathletic, was possibly going to dominate the best basketball league in the world, when the best players mostly black. Auerbach hired the perfect coach in Phil Fitch, a former drill instructor for the U.S. Marine Corps, an old school guy noted for the intense practices and discipline.
Would you call that racism though? Would you call that racism though? I would say ignorant, not racist. If you've never seen a white man play to that level before at the time, you were just ignorant. You weren't exposed to that. Does that mean you're racist? I don't quite agree with that. If that's the reason. If there's other things that made them say that they're racist, I'd like to hear what it is. But I'll say that's ignorant. Just like saying all black people are rappers and athletes. That's ignorant. I don't know. There's levels to it. Let me know your thoughts about that.
Personality, very first practice, 30-year-old Curtis Rowe, way out of shape, blew his chance to play with the great Larry Bird, simply caught joint training camp, the failed Paul Silas replacement. Bird's presence and demeanor literally changed the Celtics overnight. Having a no BS approach, Whoever wasn't built for it simply packed their bags and left. Rowe never played another NBA game again. Of course, Cedric Maxwell still viewed himself as the franchise guy, salty he was going to get passed over, with the franchise handing over the keys to a rookie who might not look good, judging a book by his cover. Sitting over the podium,
What does
Larry
that
Bird's
mean, though?
arrives,
Not
best
look
class
good.
3
What does
times,
that
yells,
mean?
Great White Hope. Here he comes out. Thought he was giving the Rook the business, scoring, talking noise, but didn't realize how good Larry was. Knocks down the first jumper. Max had his hands down. That might be a lucky shot, but Larry did it again, and of course, again.
I'm thinking, oh, he's slow. He can't get off the shot. He's not that strong. This is going to be a layup. Bam. Knocks down a jump shot. Maybe that was luck. Gets the ball again. Bam. Knocks down another jump shot. Now I'm thinking like, okay, hey, what? I'm going to beat this guy up. I'm going to show him his life. 20 feet away. 25 feet away. Bam. My mind just goes something. Damn, this white guy can play.
Cornbread came off averaging 19 and 10 on over 58% shooting the previous season. Boston's best player before Bird's arrival. When asked to play against Bird at practice, the 6'8 small forward laughed at those remarks, thinking it'd be a cakewalk. Instead, he got his behind kicked. Coach Red also did not expect Larry to be this good right away.
He dive on the floor. He do whatever it takes. He was the most self-motivated.
I believe Larry Bird being white during that time was his biggest strength. Because when you're the underdog and when you're singled out, it forces you to have some edge. It forces you to have to prove yourself. And it worked out for him in a very positive way. All my life, I've been one or two of the only black people in my schools, in going back to elementary school all the way to university. Well, actually, in university, there was a lot more African Canadians. But in a way, it gives you an edge when you are the one that is forced to do a little bit more to stand out. Some people, it happens in a negative way, which can be a different video, a different topic. But it can work against you if you how to use it. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I've been called, you are the whitest black person ever. I've been associated with terms like that throughout my whole life in North America. So I can understand this in that way, if that makes sense.
Still motivated player he's ever seen. Wow. Coming from a guy who's won
Because I'm not ghetto.
Having all-time greats Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, and John Havlicek.
I'll guarantee you I'll give 100% every time I...
Here's Bird himself saying how long it took him to realize that he was going to dominate the NBA.
Once I got out of college, I came to the pros, and well, how's he going to do? He won't be able to get his jump shot off in the pros, or he won't be quick enough, or he won't be able to rebound. And I think it took me probably 3 days after a rookie camp. Like I found out, like, this league is nothing. I can play in this league, and I will dominate in this league.
During the late 70s and early 80s, the NBA desperately seeking for answers to grow its fan base. It was supposed to be Bill Walton's Blazers, the next dynasty, but with all the injuries taking a toll on his career, leading to a Washington Bullets Seattle Sonic Finals 2 straight years, abysmal ratings, bad viewership, a league perceived by many as a group of entitled athletes who did drugs, the NBA was in serious jeopardy until Larry Bird and his greatest rival, Magic Johnson, started.
Let me know if you want me to react to courtship rivals. Again, it takes more than one time watching something to really retain the information. So let me know.
Now together, two polar opposite personalities, Magic playing for the historic Lakers, combined with Larry's intense style of play, captured the hearts of millions. The 22-year-old rookie officially made his NBA debut October 12, 79, put up 14 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 28 minutes, a Friday night sellout, and a win over MVP Moses Malone and the Rockets. Many of you might think, well, Bird had McHale Parrish and Dennis Johnson, but matter of fact, McHale and Parrish didn't join Boston till Larry's second season. Before Larry even played a game in the NBA, the 22-year-old was asked to write down how many wins he thinks his team will finish. Of course, aiming high, the hopeful Bird wrote down 47 wins. Coach Fitch thought his rookie overly confident. If Boston was to even finish above 500, many fans would have been drilled. But Larry even outdone himself. It was all Bird by himself, who led the single greatest season turnaround in NBA history. At the time, transforming the second worst team in the league.
That's crazy. That is insane, man. What is that? Plus 32 wins, I would say. That's insane. That's a big turnaround. 32 wins. Jeez.
League best, he won wins. One of the craziest stats of them all, absolutely staggering. Larry's unselfish style of play and smarts rejuvenated vets Dave Collins and Nate Archibald. One of Larry's best performances as a rookie came in a blowout win over the Clippers, a standout moment where he embarrassed Jelly Bean Joe Bryant with a fake pass behind him.
Oh,
Away
he embarrassed Kobe's dad. He embarrassed Kobe Bryant's dad. That's hilarious. How ironic. How ironic. And Kobe got his revenge against his Pacers later on. I don't know. I'm trying to put two and two together.
The baseline jumper finished with 36 on San Diego. Despite all the success, it's an absolute travesty. Rookie Bird wasn't even voted a starter to the All-Star team. For the East Forwards, it was Julius Irving and a guy named John Drew selected above
What?
Bird, while the smiling, media-friendly Magic Johnson voted in as a starter, but the cold-blooded Bird stole the show in overtime, drained a 22-footer, then switched the three from almost the same spot. Keep in mind, this was also the first season of the three-point line. Later grabbed the board late OT, a gorgeous pass to Moses, who missed.
It wasn't slow. I wouldn't say it was slow, to be honest. It just wasn't the fastest.
Left-handed dime to teammate George Gervin under the basket that clinched the win. Even announcer Brett Musburger couldn't believe his eyes. 32-year-old teammate Pete Maravich tried to give rookie Larry
what? Pete Maravich was on the Celtics? What? Now that is where he got his pointers for the passing. Wow.
About a future Hall of Famer, one of the best all-around offensive players of the 70s, fresh off 3 straight All-Star appearances.
What? I didn't know this. After all these years, I never knew this. They're double teaming. You can't force up those shots.
Absolutely legendary. To call
That's
great,
crazy.
Who averaged 44 points in college without the three-point line. The fearless rookie Bird always talked the talk and walked the walk. Maravich would then retire from basketball after a brief time in Boston. Of course, most often or not, every rookie's gonna get hazed at some point. It's just part of the business. Whether it's JG Redick getting duct taped to a chair, Hedo Turk.
Wait, what? This is so funny. What? He deserved this. For all the stuff he says with Stephen A. Smith or whoever on these shows about the players back then being plumbers, and I don't know what else he says. Disrespectful stuff. He deserved this.
Contemplating on peeing on him. Magic Johnson delivering newspapers every morning to Kareem, as seen in
What's wrong delivering newspapers? I did that for a number of years. I did that for what? 3 years, I think. Just kidding.
Time, Jeff Jenkins, a former teammate of Bird's for just Larry's rookie season, told The Athletic, "I'll never forget our first road trip. The rookie stood in front of all of the guys on the bus and said, 'I want you guys to know I'm never going to get you any water, and I'm never going to carry one bag ever.' And he never did."
Kobe got this from him.
There's never only one rookie to stand up to his team and say those things like that. The first answer most people would guess, of course, would be Larry Bird. Proceeded to play all 82 games, averaged over 21 and 10, 4.5 assists, 1.7 steals, and it wasn't just his numbers, but the hand-eye coordination.
I'll see him in Magic, play 77 games, average 18, 7 and 7 basically. That's insane, man. Both of them. That's insane. Almost 2.5 steals for Magic. Insane.
Smart, hustle, made all his teammates better, playing an unselfish style of winning basketball, earned him Rookie of the Year over rival Magic Johnson, 3-3 in first place Wolves, also finished 4th for MVP, behind Kareem, Dr. J, and George Gervin. The Celtics would fall to their conference rival Philadelphia in 5 games in the conference finals. Although it was rival Magic and the Lakers who took home the title and finals MVP, Bird would then lead Boston to the title the very following year after adding a rookie McHale and red trading for Parrish, setting up the greatest rivalry the NBA has ever seen, paving the way for future generations. One of the true icons and faces of the league, the French Lake native embodies what it truly means to be a winner, did it with pride and honor, summed up perfectly by his greatest rival during his retirement ceremony.
And Larry, there will never ever be another Larry Bird.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Let me know your thoughts about the video. Enough said. Make sure to stay around for more reactions. Let me know what reactions I should do. And I'll definitely do them at some point in the future. May God bless you, and I'll see you in the next reaction.